Afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, and all those watching us home and abroad. It's a pleasure to be here once more to speak to you. I remember when we started Unite earlier, I had done a tour to media houses to enhance the relationship that Unite has with the media houses, with the belief that the media is the fourth arm of government and they must be respected and given the due diligence that they should be accorded with. And we're grateful for always coming when we call, because we see you as partners in development, and we do believe that your responsibilities are very important in making sure that there's national development. Because the media entertains, informs, and also educates. And this is what every country needs to enhance itself and be, a beacon of hope for its people. That being the case, we are here today to give a press conference on the happenings that have happened days and weeks ago, especially when it comes to the Alkalo attestation issue and the seizure of an Alkalo stamp. We see it as a national issue and not a Unite issue. Regardless of who it is, we believe that due process must be followed and what is right needs to be done. And we believe that the governor's position or the stance he took contravenes public trust, contravenes the rule of law, and was impunity in broad daylight. That being the case, Unite Party or Unite Movement for Change wishes to inform the general public of a deeply concerning series of events surrounding the unlawful confiscation of the Alkalo stamp from GAMBIAN village in Nyagabantang Ward, Central River Region. According to the Alkalo of Nyangen village, Mr. Babukar Nyang, he was summoned through the Sefo of Nyani and instructed to appear before the governor of the Central River Region, Mr. Usman Bar, with his official administrative stamp. Upon his arrival, the governor allegedly confiscated the stamp and accused him of wrongdoing solely on the basis that his son is politically affiliated with Unite and serves as a regional figure within the movement. The Alkalo further explained that the governor claimed he had allowed his son to use the stamp for opposition purposes and went as far as linking the situation to handing a sword to an enemy. We find such statements reckless, dangerous, and entirely inconsistent with democratic norms. It is important to state that the Alkalo, due to his advanced age and limited mobility, entrusted the handling of the stamp to his son, a practice that is both common and widely accepted in many rural communities. Furthermore, our findings confirmed that the Alkalo maintains a family presence in the village. Following these developments, Unite dispatched senior officials of the movement, Mr. Ibrahim Adiba and Mr. Karafa Sonko, on a fact-finding mission to the Central River region. Upon arrival at the governor's office, our representatives were met with conduct that can only be described as dismissive and unbecoming of a public servant. They were deliberately kept waiting for nearly 30 minutes, and when eventually received, were told that had the governor known the purpose of their visit, he would not have granted them an audience. He further refused to address the matter or provide any explanation for his actions. This behavior reflects a troubling disregard for accountability and reinforces concerns about a growing culture of impunity in public office. Subsequently, on Monday, the Honorable Minister for Local Government and Lands, Mr. Honorable Ahmad M. Keba, invited Unite to a senior management's meeting comprising of governors, permanent secretaries, executive coordinators, and the directors of the ministry. At that meeting, I had the opportunity as spokesperson of the movement to present our concerns and clearly articulate our position. We wish to sincerely thank the minister for his openness, engagement, and his efforts to find a constructive and lawful resolution to this matter. During that engagement, Unite made it unequivocally clear that the governor's actions did not follow the law and did not respect due process. The seizure of an Alkalo stamp is not within the unilateral authority of a governor, but falls under the jurisdiction of the ministry and must be exercised in accordance with due administrative procedures. This we know did not happen because when the action was taken, the minister was in Nairobi and had no knowledge of the unlawful actions of the governor until when we reported it to him. We also addressed the explanation presented that the Alkalo had delegated the stamp and was not resident in the village. We made it clear that our findings contradict these claims. The Alkalo is present, active, and supported by his family within the village. Therefore, the justification put forward does not hold. Unite further emphasized that the reasons advanced for this confiscation were not legal or administrative, but politically in nature and aligned with the interests of the National People's Party, the ruling party. We highlighted that this pattern is not new. Similar actions have been observed in past electoral periods where public officials blur the line between state authority and partisan interests. Such practices severely undermine the credibility of our elections and weaken public trust in democratic institutions. We also draw attention to a glaring contradiction. The President of the Republic just weeks ago called on governors, safos, alkalis, and ministers to openly campaign for him at his Sukuta rally. Yet today, an Alkalo is being punished on the basis of a perceived association with the opposition. We ask the question, Unite is a new party. Which party was Alkalo part of years ago that his stamp wasn't seized? This double standard is not only openly unjust, it strikes at the very heart of our electoral fairness and equal political participation. Therefore, Unite calls for the immediate restoration of the Alkalo's official stamp, a transparent and impartial investigation into the actions of the governor, clear measures to ensure that due process is respected at all times, and broader electoral and governance reforms to safeguard neutrality and accountability. We urge the Honorable Minister to take decisive actions by calling the governor to order and ensuring that he respects both the law and the people he is mandated to serve. Public office must never be used as a tool for political intimidation. Unite remains committed to defending democratic values, protecting institutional integrity, and ensuring that abuses of power are challenged wherever they arise. The Gambia belongs to all of us. Thank you, Kemo Bojang, spokesperson, Unite Party. Thank you very much, Sharif. Unite is a civil party. We would never use force because the country is bound by laws. Just because the governor hasn't followed those laws doesn't mean that Unite wouldn't follow the laws. This is what we are able to do, which is to raise awareness. Because one of the functions of an opposition party is also to educate and raise awareness on issues. Because we also serve as watchdogs for the government. And this is what we are doing. We are grateful to the civil society also for taking a stance and making their position known. And we as a party are also doing that. This is not about Unite. Because just yesterday, we also saw or heard videos of a UDP agent being brutally attacked in Bundu, where even the deputy speaker is alleged to have been the assailant who assaulted him. So this is not about Unite. This is not about the GDC. This is not about the UDP. This is about making sure that there's no impunity in public service and making sure that the laws of the country are respected and also due diligence is followed. Yeah, these are things that we will discuss internally, but we have continued to show moral and support to those affected, and we'll continue to do that. Unite has a legal team that can also look into this because, like I mentioned, it's unlawful. In fact, the minister himself admitted this, that the governor doesn't have any authoritative power to seize a stamp of an alkali without him directing it. And we also had the interviews where a journalist asked the governor which law or which section of the constitution have you used to back your actions. He couldn't answer it. So it's out of impunity that he has done this, and we will also consult internally and see if through a civil case we can also take it to court. Important to notice is that a whole community is being disenfranchised as we speak, because the registration process of the supplementary registration started a week ago, and because of political reasons, a whole constituency in Nyagabantan ward cannot get attestations. So this is also worrisome that we are disenfranchising Gambians who should be able to register to vote. But also it just opens a can of worms into broader things of electoral reform generally, that we continue to talk about attestations. But why can't it be that in 2026, Gambians can't have a data bank where every Gambian born in this country is automatically given the documentation that you deserve? So if up till now we cannot provide this for our people, it raises more concerns than it also answers. Yeah. To answer, the job of the Alkalo today is administrative and not political, especially when it comes to stamping of documentation, because the stamp is not just used for political purposes. The stamp is even used for administrative purposes. If you know Nyagabantan ward, you would know that it is around the border. between Gambia and Senegal. And a lot of times livestock and cattle do cross. So that is the same stamp that is used to authenticate documentation. So it doesn't matter to us if he's a member of the NPP, if he's a member of Unite. What we are saying is that the governor has acted ultra vires to his powers, and we are saying that he needs to be put to order and he needs to answer for the actions he has taken. So if the son of the Alkali is a member of Unite, there are thousands of Gambians who are members of Unite. It doesn't mean that they cannot function where needed. And when it comes to delegation of authority, I believe that it was a flimsy excuse that was put forward, because we all come from communities. We know that the alkalis delegate authority, especially when it comes to stamping. Because when someone comes to get a stamp, the alkali has other functions that they're supposed to do. Because they have communal functions, they have judicial functions, they also have legislative and administrative functions. So if, for example, an alkali is doing something, do you mean that another person cannot stamp, the documentation of Gambians because we need to wait for the alkali to come? So these are issues that I think it goes back to my point, that we need clearer electoral reforms, and just even the Local Government Act. As a councillor, I know that there's a lot of work that needs to go into the Local Government Act, because it is the act that overrides all of us as councillors, as alkalis, and as governors. So it's about, we all know that it's a blatant disregard for what needs to happen. That's one. Two, we have openly seen in by-elections that have happened in this country, governors and alkalis taking part in elections. We've seen a video of an alkali in URR who came out and said that they would do what the president has asked them to do, which is to campaign for him. So if they, and also that was on video, if the governor of URR or the governor of Central River Region, we have information that before this registration process, they called alkalis and chiefs, telling them that they need to be on the side of the president. We also had the president himself saying that he is asking the alkalis, he's forcing, not even asking, he's mandating the alkalis, he's mandating the CFOs, he's mandating the governors to campaign for him. And we've had in LRR, where we also have evidence of the governor intimidating people. So saying that the son of the alkali is a member of Unite, I think makes no sense that it should be a reason. Like I mentioned, there are thousands of Gambians who are members of Unite. It doesn't stop them from being, administrators. So you cannot use that as a reason to confiscate and to also delegitimize and to disenfranchise a whole community because you wanted to serve your purpose. And let me tell you, whoever is being selected to act on behalf of, the alkali is going to be a member of the NPP, and we all know that. What happened in the meeting is what I've mentioned here. We were called there to give our position, and we have done that. Now, and I have given recommendations and points that we want them to follow. So we will follow up with them to see how that turns out. So memang follow the Gambian ikana apisan. Anu hani particular sam nimman sa kunda bondi noja. Mbela fela men na wala puru mbe la nyoka. Par hanni wo manke. Gambe dum wala ka decide dum wala win la bantu wala tamin. Ni tol be parite ko mbaka refal opposition ole or opposition ba gagnelan. So at that state tol bulu puru yake because ni manke majikti. Amanke fanan rocket science. Quartier la ka fay. So quartier na fighter. Na nyanda fayla men na fighter we. Oto wale baganyela. So abe ton labulu wasembo abe ton labulu. Nka memfo do wala mko panza kunda kam dolo 6 kilo mol bulo kon. Mol le sembo so. So 6 kilo na be bulo kon yala abe safe friend. But ni bulo ba ko to na jon takatele. So election of namba wala nyam. So adasta gambe di wala bulo ban foni manza kunda maral jaw membi jang iba tela le bang fo abatule bulle pudi ajiba ba kelen. Okay, so bo ba flo do ko e kam memfo ntama moy. Bari ntole mel la wala mko attestation ko wala na ngafo. Kado attestation oni ajibe. Ya sama na nuna electoral law ko men na wulam ko pour mol mel manke gambeno di kala quartier fayno wala ne ka foko niata e pesa samba alkalo ya pra attest ko dem gambeno ta e bañi nin ka e fañi nin ka bar bi men gara wulam ko ya wala use ya ke wepono sayen fo e ka wala use ka mel manya na quartier fay la opportunity di la pour quartier fay ne ka men fo mole wulam ko ntolle fo nyanda kala fo e so jarolti dalle fo nyanda kala mole mel yalon ko be lola ka je ko nyintili mbali ame me banko ka ay bojak process o nyum mota a disrupt no kadni moy fana nin kayto na data fly no ko nin kayto man eligible bari sa menkeno wala ko ya make sure ko nin revising code ko data and besa wuli mata revising code manji ki mel la man la men sajo ko mo sa fani keno ko banko be united lo menna wala mklo promo ni mbunya kadun defo membe diam lede jam mota fala ko denene fedita ganna opponent nen la ngaku fo man na opponent ma me alon ko aman soto wala hanna soto ta nka ajibe lembe diam la nyame katun Gambia be le denta hanna man ke politiko de o hanning aman ke divergence agreement common courtesy and moral wonyanta kala na cornerstone le na nyadon kadol fana Ibrahima Dibawol for example. I mean, everybody saw last week, regardless of political difference, at other dobo. When we attend the majority, and I meant the wala mko na longkong kaja ko nganying divergence fanang purka respect. Nga jale solo Sunday memorial me anko UDP bengolom, Gambia la bengolom, nga molki alfalki itata woto kununko for a speech di katandi ko ntolumang enemy soto ko ngamen fanya. Andung nka nsa men fodro wala mko molu manke robot wala molu manke masinwal ita mobe emotions and feelings leso. Mando balo ka kandi kumo ka fema bare ntol bu ko mutamoma ka ntol every day ni na social media opposition dol kan tol ne ka kumol foma ko men fodo hani kabri nan na motorcycle jindi jang dol ba fla al musungol le tal muten ten bare nga me understand ko adem politiko nata bare mba nyo danila ma nyo yamar la ka foko doron ko nimbe politiko la sakani lafta fenne lola men ka adem be na fala sa do mando ma nyo fi ka ntol ka katabaken ntame mun na patiola di am lati den data media to wala hokobi ben janyamen nka katale ko ngabu nyani horomo tandi alfal bela kadu hanna mange kuti dino fo ya fale iko nka na nimol mel man tara dina kile nka ne alfal ne ka dingi la alfal ibn alfal iko nka ne kilal ka dingi la kilal ne ibn kilal iko nka ne alal ne ka dingi la alal ne be fana alal ne ando ne kata asaro ne politiko fana mo nyama no kana modul alfal ne ni ala alfal ne na ila alfal ne so tole lon kawon soto lon kawon muta anu me danro ka opposition party dol be fana ye pour ibes france ko ke katum dolu kon ngamen fo ibalo ka kandi emotions ka run high but itele nyanta manager ya de la school what is ahead o mbela na falom nsakata na call do manda manyofe ntole be fala do wala ko aman surprise kadu ngalo ne ko na kata Gambia dingol damma wala Gambianol damma quartier fay. There's no way NPP can win an election in this country. I mean, Hanibi survey memphindita by Sepras. It has showed the dissatisfaction of the Gambian people on this government. But if you sunya role in Kasaralo, la wala ne lafta nyul kala. But if you ya marla men now doro ko, it's so ashaming. Ko ila bankola integrity, ila bankola security, iba compromise la because you want to stay in power. Ntolbe nyol dan la men saka mele an ko tole audio so. Nim mo me an ko iwuluta Gambia. Ela kaito bebul hanni sita Sierra Leone na ina register la fundamental right la wati bar ni manke Gambia note ndol mo buga wuli je kata Senegal la carte fay le carte fay mo buga wuli je ta Sierra Leone ta carte fay but if it shows ko the NPP is willing to invest that much money kamon windi for kabo Sierra Leone kana fa jang then it means ko NPP is going all out ndol fana opposition nyantal wala nga nyaayale isa jen sa realize ko this ifo ka fanya is a do or die affair. Ndol ma je do da affair because I believe ko nim falo nyanda kala be kala but abe do ko fanan tarlaje so we also hope they will sit iba reflect la ka je ko ikane la banko kasara ikane la banko la integrity ka tinya just because they want to stay in power man ye fi Gambia Senegal man dama de wax ne ben dekala nga xamne unfortunately colonialism mo ñu séparé. But even during colonialism, among the province of Senegambia, we have capital bi mungi won Saint Louis, Nar. Legi way buñ démé bé Anglo-French Boundary Commission ñu né fi moy Gambia fi moy Sénégal. Luma gom moy né territorial integrity dafa important. Té comme luma don wax fi rek ci olof, ñun kenn du dé jog nga dem sani carte Sénégal. Waye so gisé lolu di xew, ñun politicians yi ñoko def. Parce que dañ selfish. Dañuy seet rek ñun suñ jëm kanam seetuñ jëm kanam dëkk bi xam nga ñiti luñ understand mooy ne boo ne dëkk bi amut resources wala resources yu fa nekka doyul parce que da nga ko dee def in correlation ak resource mi nga xam ne ak nit ñi so bu nekkee ne ñun suñ population let's say is 3 million nit waaye nga jox citizenship ñeneen ñi nga xam ne yooloowuñ ko yaa ngi put pressure on your own economy. Granted understand na border towns yi yene Gambia Sénégal dañu jaxaso waye ku nekk xam nga fo judo waye comme luma doon wax rek chef yi alkali yi ñoko dé def parce que ñom attestation wa attestation pour doomi Gambia yi la nga jox ñi nga xam ne war nañoo am kayit waaye loolu laa doon tamit ma ne ñun ñu ngi si year 2026 méegul benn sens ne ñun mënuñoo am data system mi nga xam ne képp ki nga xam ne juddu na Gambia mën nañ laa dugal si système boobu because képp ki nga xam ne wasin na si lopitaani Gambia wala bu nekkee sax si kër la wasin buñ ko yóbbee noos war nañu ko mën a dugal si biir système bi xam nga boobu soo ko amee nécessaire pour nga am attestation waaye nag dafa indi bigger question ne naka la ñoo defee electoral reforms génnee fi attestation seen naka la diaspora di sànnee karta pour ñu mun a gis dëkk bi dem kanam parce que ñun gëm nañ ne balaa ngaa jox sa kayiti sénégalais nga ko jox ay Sierra Leonean comme ni audio buñ dégg Gambien yaa ngi diaspora ñi nga xam ne they make up over 40% of suñ GDP ñu mënuñoo sànni karta so te ñooñu ñoo ko yelloo so ñun ñu ngee wax ne foog nguur bi xoolaat boppam bu baax a baax a baax nga bëgg a toog nguur rek bu mu tax nga yàq sax dëkk bi so ñu ngee ñaan sénégalais yi ngee ñaan waa Guinée Bissau ngee ñaan waa Sierra Leone suñu élection bi dañu ko bàyyil rek ñu sànni karta parce que élection amoon na Bissau waa Bissau rek a sànni karta bi nga am change of government élection amoon na Sénégal waa Sénégal rek a sànni karta bi nga am change of government ñun tamit élection la ñoo taxawal mi nga xam ne gëm leen si mën a change government waaye yow tey nga ñëw nga sànnil karta nguur bi nga dellu sa dëkk yaa fa am Ousmane Sonko mu ngi liggéey nga bàyyi ñu Adama Barrow yàlla sax dina la yàlla dina la jooj si loolu parce que yow yaa ngi si jëm kanam nga bàyyi ñu ñun si sona kon loolu war nañ koo xool bu baax so hopefully su ma wax bi sénégalais tam nañ ko dégga Sierra Leone nañ ko dégga pour ñoom tam pour ñu bàyyi si xel waaye embassy yu fi nekk tam pour dëkk yooyu ñu ngi leen di ñaan pour ñu waxal seen nit ñi képp ki nga xam ne waruloo am karta yelloowuloo suñ karta bul ut suñ karta parce que unfortunately man mun naa diplomatique man mun naa am concern waaye si kaw yoon bi mais bi nga tasee ñit foofu kooku mais bi du ko mën a contrôle so di nga put sa bopp at risk so ñu ngi ñaan am embassy ak tamit di Sénégalo Gambia secrétariat pour ñu taxaw si ñu seet naka la ñoo mën a jàppale pour ñu mun koo stop waaw jërëjëf ni kon kenn du doon soxla attestation waaw comme loolu laa wax rek waaye ndax nguur gi pare na pour def loolu mooy question bi nga xam ne lañ boo war a laaj parce que man dama dee woon ne sa citizenship 4 documentations ñoo ko dee qualify benn mooy sa birth certificate 25% nga am sa ID card 50% nga am sa passport 75% nga am sa voters card 100%. kayit yi ma wax ni ñetti kayit yi ñooy tax nga am voters card waaye bu nguur bi parewul pour jox la because bad deals la nguur bi duga moo tax tey mënuñoo am suñu ID cards parce que dañ dugga si deal yi nga xam ne daf ñu cost as a people so tax na tey compagnie yooyu mënuñoo produce suñ cards yi waaye ñoom ñu ngi laa disenfranchise because tax nañ ne yow sa soo demee kayit pour mën a sànni carte doo mën a am nga sànni carte passport is the same thing amoon na tey am ñu ne books yi amuñ te passport am is a documentation li nga xam ne moo la mën a jox carte so man ñun luñ go mooy ne disenfranchisement la disenfranchisement mooy ne dañ bugg a jël suñ doole mi nga xam ne lañ am comme lu ma wax si soose rek nguur nen la mi nga xam ne moo nekk sa biir loxo bi sa carte bi mooy di say ndax nen bi dafa toj ndax du toj so doole boobu lañ bugg a jël suñ loxo so foog ñu taxaw ñu ask for better service foog ñu taxaw suñ members of parliament ñu task leen suñ demee si house bi ñuy wax façon wax yi nga xam ne suñ kayit yi mun leen a am tamit waaw jërëjëf thank you